A lot of these channels started because that person was hurt and really wanted to put out information. But after a while, it becomes more marketing and just trying to keep the same crowds, trying to trigger the same emotional responses with these titles and with the content, that the videos are no longer actually helping people. The videos are just keeping people in this emotional trigger point. We want to understand rather than like staying stuck on somebody who doesn't even want to understand themselves. Like, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so thankful y'all are here. I pray you can find home here, and if so, welcome. But today I want to talk to y'all about finding comfort, finding peace, and acceptance in the unknown. I think what causes a lot of our fears, worries, anxiety is the unknown. We place so much expectation on the unknown. We feel like we should know what's going to happen at all times. We think that it's possible to even know what's going to happen in 5 minutes, We can never 100% fully know what's going to happen next in our lives. That's why the present moment is so important, because it keeps you in this middle ground of, I'm not in the past, but I'm also not in the present yet. I just am. And the way some people perceive that is that there is no such thing as time and we're just constantly living in the present. And I agree, but ultimately, fully understanding anything is impossible. Even the smartest of people with the highest IQs will never know everything 100%. And so, how this relates to trauma or dysfunction or just moving into a more present, conscious space of your life is you have to be comfortable not knowing. You have to be comfortable in the fact that anything could happen at any time without your knowing, without you being able to control the outcome. In order to really be at peace with yourself, you have to be okay with not knowing. You have to be okay with some things being left unexplained, some things not having a reasoning or an expectation or a logic on it. This is another reason why so many people get stuck in a cycle of trying to understand their trauma, trying to understand the people that hurt them, or narcissism especially, but ultimately any type of dysfunction. I found myself even stuck in this cycle of trying to understand, trying to get a grip of how could this person do this, or how could this person treat me this way. But ultimately, there's certain things that you will never understand. I will never understand the brain of another person, whether that's mentally ill or not. All we can do is really take people for face value, observe their actions, observe how they treat us and all that type of stuff, and move off of that. And for the longest time, we've been told that the surface doesn't matter. Surface level stuff is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't pay attention to it, etc., etc. But when it comes to trauma specifically, especially interpersonal trauma, the surface level is 100% important. A lot of times when we go through these things, we end up trying to read between the lines of every interaction, of every relationship. We try to find deeper meaning in everything. Even if a person is toxic, we want to understand why they're that way. What do they need? What caused them to be this way? Why would they treat us this way? And trying to get a grasp of what you can't understand or what's intangible is going to keep you in that repetitive cycle of focusing on something that you cannot change, something that will never be understandable to you. So I think when it comes to healing, you have to be so okay with the unknown, so okay with not being able to rationalize things, that you can move on. You can focus on things that you can understand. You can focus on your own growth. You can focus on what you need to do to get to the next level you need to be on. Not if everybody can come with you, not if what this person said, 2 years ago really, if they really meant what they said. Like, trying to find understanding when a person's actions don't match their words is kind of like trying to force 5 and 10 to equal 35. Like, it's one of those things that you're going to spend so much, hold on, plane. You'll spend so much mental energy trying to explain the unexplainable. Ooh, that you'll lose so much focus on really being who you are at your core. I also talked about this in my previous video, where it's like it's a lot of narcissism channels that will keep you in this cycle of wondering when they'll come back, wondering if they loved you, wondering if they meant what they said, wondering if their rage fits were really just them acting out from a trauma. Like, watching those channels will keep you stuck. And I know that these channels mean well. I know that a lot of these channels started because that person was hurt and really wanted to put out information. But after a while, it becomes more marketing and just trying to keep the same crowds, trying to trigger the same emotional responses with these titles and with the content, that the videos are no longer actually helping people. The videos are just keeping people in this emotional trigger point, trying to understand, trying to get a grasp of the intangible. Sometimes things happen in our lives where we just don't get it. We can't understand it. And overthinking it feels like we're getting somewhere. Overthinking it feels like we're protecting ourselves. Or if I just think about it over and over again, I'll eventually come to a solution. But if you're just thinking about what rather than how to get out of it, how to help yourself, what's the next best step, you're still keeping yourself stuck. You're keeping yourself in a space where you're so focused on the problem itself. When it comes to healing, be comfortable not knowing. Be okay walking away without closure, even from family members, relationships, jobs, anybody or anything that made you feel less than or inadequate. Be okay with walking away, not receiving closure, and giving yourself the support, giving yourself the compassion to accept that you're more than what somebody tells you you are. You're more than what somebody tries to dictate for you in your life. You are what you say you are. You are what you believe you are. So if you believe other people in what they say you are, you're giving your power away. You're allowing them, who you don't know what space they're operating from, their intentions are unknown to you regardless of what they say. So if somebody is putting you down and making you feel bad about yourself, accept the surface level reality that what they're saying and doing is not beneficial for you. Stop trying to read between the lines. Stop trying to give people grace because you want to give them the acceptance that you didn't receive in your life. I know that one was really hard for me. I extended a lot of grace to people who didn't deserve it in my life because I felt like I didn't really get that, and I could have really used that in my life, especially as a child. And I grew up to be a woman who would always want to read between the lines, would always want to understand the misunderstood. While I do appreciate that quality in myself, I realized that I gave the wrong people that part of me. I gave the wrong people grace, who showed me time and time again what their intentions were. But again, I was not comfortable not knowing, not understanding. Trying to read between the lines and understand something that's way beyond needing to be understood is a trauma response. You not being comfortable with simply accepting people's actions or how people treat you for what it is a trauma response. When we don't trust our feelings, when we don't trust what we really feel and observe, we end up having to look deeper to make things more than they are, when really most people show us who they are when we first meet them. Most people will show you exactly who they are and what their intentions are within the first week of meeting them, within one interaction. But again, the need to gain more information after somebody shows you who they are is going to keep you stuck. Trying to understand somebody who's no longer in your life is going to keep you stuck. It's going to hold you back. Think about where you want to go. Think about who you want to be, how you want to be, how you want to talk, how you want to dress, what type of jobs do you want, what type of life do you want to live. Like, try to think beyond. Oh my God, what are all these little things falling? I gotta go inside. Try to keep the things that are more beneficial to you in mind rather than staying stuck on someone or somebody who doesn't even want to understand. Rather than like staying stuck on somebody who doesn't even want to understand themselves. Like, sometimes we try to understand and give grace and read between the lines with people who don't even want to understand themselves. They don't even want to put in the work to give an explanation for why they are the way they are, but we're sitting here doing all the work for them, you know? So let me take that off my head. What the fuck is that? Oh no, I gotta go in. So yeah, y'all, I'm finna go in because it's these little insect things falling from the trees and I ain't got time. So if you made it to the end of this video, I am so thankful, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.